Fame found them young, but death found them younger. What happens when childhood ends in a hospital bed, a crash, or a bullet? These child stars didn't just vanish, they were stolen by sickness, violence, and tragedy. Here are 35 child actors died too soon. 35. Lucille Rickson. Lucille Rickson was a silent film darling, lighting up screens by 11 with her big, sad eyes. Born in 1910, she worked like a mule, making movie after movie. But in 1925, tuberculosis crept in. Her lungs gave up, and at 14, she faded away in a hospital bed, her mom crying beside her. 34. Bobby Breen. Bobby Breen's voice was magic in the 1930s. At 8, he sang in Let's Sing Again, Melting Hearts. But in 1941, at 14, tuberculosis struck again. He coughed blood until his small body couldn't fight. His mom found him cold one morning, his songs gone forever. 33rd. Samantha Smith. Samantha Smith was more than an actress, she was a peace messenger. At 10, she wrote to the Soviet Union, begging for no war, and starred in Lime Street by 13. Then, in 1985, her plane crashed into trees on a foggy night. The metal twisted and she was gone, ripped apart at 1332. Peggy Cartwright. Peggy Cartwright lit up our gang when she was 5, but behind the smiles, she was sick. By 13, her body gave out. Some say pneumonia, others say TB, but whatever it was, it stole her breath. She just kept coughing, said a friend. 31st. Matthew Beard. Matthew Beard was stymied, famous for his bowler hat and smile. At 5, he made the world laugh, but by 13, his stardom ended. Life got rough, drugs followed. He died at 56 from a stroke, but his spark had faded long before. He was bright once, someone said. 30. Heather O'Rourke. Heather was only 5 when she whispered, "They're here," in Poltergeist. Everyone loved her big blue eyes and innocent face, but one day in 1988, she suddenly felt sick, throwing up and crying in pain. Her intestines were blocked and her body started poisoning itself. She collapsed in my arms, her mother said in horror. 29th. Nikita Pearl Waligwa. Nikita Pearl Waligwa, just 15, survived a brain tumor once, but it returned, cruelly stronger. Famous for Queen of Katwe, her bright future turned into hospital stays and heartbreak. Despite global support, she died in 2020, leaving behind a legacy and a deep, painful sense of loss. 28th. Dorothy Dell. Dorothy had just started rising to fame after Little Miss Marker, but one stormy night, her car flew off the road and slammed into a tree. There was glass in the air like glitter, someone said. She was only 19. Her friends said she had so much left to do, but fate hit too hard, too fast. 27. Frankie Darro. Frankie was a star before he even lost his baby teeth. By 8, he was in movies, but as he grew, Hollywood forgot him. He struggled with illness, money, and loneliness. Years later, lung cancer took hold. He didn't fight much at the end, he was just tired. 26. Anissa Jones. Anissa was Buffy on Family Affair. Her ponytails and smile were loved across America. But by 11, she was out. At 18, drugs ended her life. She had cocaine, PCP, and more in her system. She never got a chance to grow up, her brother once said. That little girl was gone, long before the drugs took her. 25. Billy Laughlin. Known as Froggy, Billy had a raspy voice and a goofy grin. At 16, he was riding his scooter when a truck came too fast. He never saw it, someone said. His head hit the pavement hard, and he died right there. One second he was laughing, the next, he was gone. 24. Norman Chaney. Norman was called chubby in our gang, but his real struggle was his health. As he got older, he lost weight fast, too fast. At 18, he went through a risky operation. His heart just stopped, the doctor said quietly. 23rd. Mickey Rooney Jr. Mickey Jr. was a child star once, but the fame didn't last. Life moved on without him. He lived to 93, but in his later years, he was lonely. He missed being known, an old friend admitted. Though he died in peace, he was already forgotten. Think this is horrifying? Wait till the 5th child actor, her own father, shot her in her sleep, and what he did after will leave you cold. 22nd. Darla Hood. Darla was the cute girl in our gang, winning hearts at just 4. But at 10, a simple tonsil surgery went horribly wrong. She was never the same after that, said a friend. Her health got worse, and in 1979, hepatitis took her at 47. 21. Robert Hutchins. Robert, nicknamed Weezer, was on screen by 2. By 9, his fame vanished. He joined the military, hoping for something new, But in 1945, during training, his plane crashed and exploded. He was only 20. He was full of life, someone recalled, until it all burned away. 20. Jackie Coogan. Famous at 6 alongside Charlie Chaplin, Jackie was once America's favorite child. But by 9, it was over, and his parents took his money. "I had it all, then nothing," he said. He died in 1984, aged 69, but his childhood was gone long before then. 19. Carl Switzer. Carl, who played Alfalfa, had a goofy charm people loved. But as he grew, life got rough. In 1959, during a fight about money, he was shot and killed at 31. "It was senseless," said a friend. From singing silly tunes to dying in anger, his end was tragic. 18. Scotty Beckett. Scotty started young as Spanky's buddy, but drugs took over his life. He died in 1968 from an overdose at 38. He tried to come back, someone close said, but the pain was stronger than the help he got. 17. Harold Switzer. Harold, Alfalfa's brother, was in the background. He never got the same love. In 1967, he shot his girlfriend, then himself. He was always angry, a relative admitted, forgotten by fame, remembered for tragedy. 16. Dorothy DeBorba. Dorothy was Echo, the little mimic. Her time in the spotlight ended by 8. Later in life, she lived quietly. She passed in 2010 at 85. "I was just a kid saying lines," she once said. Her voice, once heard everywhere, faded softly. 15. Alan Hoskins. Alan played Farina, one of the first black child stars. His roles stopped early due to racism. He died in 1980 from cancer at 59. "They loved me then, but not later," he said. His smile stayed, but the work never came. 14. Bobby Hutchins. Bobby, Robert's brother, also joined our gang early, and like Robert, he died in a fiery plane crash in 1945. Two brothers, same ending. "It's chilling," said a neighbor. "Lightning struck twice." 13. George McFarland. George, known as Spanky, was the leader at 3. He stayed popular, but fame faded early. He passed in 1993 at 64. "They never stopped calling me Spanky," he said. He was proud, but tired of being stuck in time. 12. Tommy Bond. Tommy played Butch, the tough guy. He left Hollywood young and worked behind the scenes. In 2005, he died at 79. "I wasn't mean, just acting," he said. The real Tommy was much gentler. 11. Mary Kornman. Mary was our gang's beauty at 4. By 7, Hollywood moved on. Cancer ended her life in 1973 at 57. "She didn't talk much about acting," a friend said. "Her shine faded early, but her memory still touches hearts." 10. Mickey Daniels. Mickey was just a kid with freckles and a big laugh when he joined our gang at 5, but by 7, people stopped noticing. He didn't get many more roles. Years passed, and Mickey slipped into the background. In 1970, at just 55, liver damage from alcohol ended his life. 9. Joe Cobb. Joe was the sweet, round-faced boy that made people laugh without saying much. He was also from our gang, just 5 when he started. But fame is a tricky thing. It doesn't wait. By 7, the spotlight moved on. He lived a long life, passing quietly in 2002 at 85. He once said, "It was fun, but it didn't last." 8. Ernie Morrison. Ernie, better known as Sunshine Sammy, was lighting up movie sets by the age of 3. He was one of the first black child stars in Hollywood, which made him stand out even more. But by 6, roles dried up. "One day, the phone just stopped ringing," he later shared. Cancer took his life in 1989 at 76. It's heartbreaking how someone called Sunshine ended up in the shadows. 7. Diana Sarah Carey. She was called Baby Peggy. At just 2 years old, she was already a movie star. But after a few years, the magic wore off. By 5, she was done. She lived long, passing in 2020 at 101, but she carried pain from childhood stardom. "They treated me like a puppet, not a person," she once said. 6. Christopher Pettiott. Christopher started young too, acting by 5. He found fame in The Young Riders, but it didn't last. He struggled through his teen years and passed away in 2000 at only 24 from a drug overdose. He was always chasing that first applause, a friend recalled. 5. Judith Barcy. Judith made kids laugh as Ducky in The Land Before Time, but behind her happy smile was a nightmare. Her father was angry, dangerous. One night, he waited until she was asleep. Then he shot her in the head. "We heard screams," the neighbors said. "He killed her mom too, then burned the house." Judith was only 10. 4. Jonathan Brandis. Jonathan was a heartthrob on Sequest. Fans loved his blue eyes and calm voice. But after a while, roles stopped coming. At 27, he died by suicide. His friends said he felt invisible. He wanted one more chance, but it never came, someone close said. His death still stings. 3. River Phoenix. River Phoenix had everything: talent, looks, fans. He was a star from childhood, known for Stand By Me. But behind that smile was someone falling apart. At 23, he collapsed from a drug overdose outside a nightclub. His brother Joaquin called for help, but River was already gone. The world lost someone who had so much left to give. 2. Corey Haim. Corey lit up the screen in The Lost Boys, but fame brought trouble. He became addicted to painkillers, and it followed him for years. In 2010, he died from complications tied to pneumonia and years of drug use. A friend said, "He was always hurting. No one helped in time." 1. Baby Leroy. Baby Leroy was only 2 when he starred with W.C. Fields, but the attention faded fast. By 4, his career was over. He lived a quiet life after, dying in 2001 at 69. There were no headlines, just silence. For more such videos, do subscribe to our channel.